Casey Stoney, welcome back to Sky Sports. It's been a while since you've been here last. You've got a new top on, a new club in charge of, and you're in the midst of the Challenge Cup. How is it? How are you enjoying life in America?
Yeah, huge transition, not just in terms of the football, but culturally too. Everything's so different. I've only stopped, leaning over this shoulder to try and get my seatbelt. So yeah, lots of different things. But listen, what an incredible place to do the job you love. One of the most amazing places I've ever been to. The sun's out every day. The players that I work with are incredible, and I think we're building something really special here. So it's a super competitive league. It is end to end. It's not good if don't want grey hairs and raised blood pressure, but I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I'm really enjoying trying to do things a bit differently over here than the players maybe have experienced before.
I was going to hang up on you when you started talking about the weather. Is that the biggest challenge? Not the weather, but the seatbelt. What else has been a little bit tough?
Yeah, I think, listen, I don't shy away from the hardest thing is my family aren't here. Got 3 children and a partner still back in England. So that's really, really difficult. I have good days and bad days where that's concerned, but I knew what I was taking on. We were supposed to move over together as a family, but visa issues didn't allow that. But hopefully, they'll be out here full time in August. And until then, they'll visit. They came out in March and absolutely loved it. So that was a bonus. But yeah, that's the biggest challenge for me is not having that support network around me and an 8-hour time difference. So I'm trying to say goodnight to them at 10:30 in the morning before training, before they go to bed. So it comes with its challenges. I think another huge challenge is the players' experiences, what they've faced over here in terms of coaching. And the way they have been coached. So trying to build trust with those players, trying to build rapport, trying to get them to not fear making mistakes and that there's not going to be consequences if they do make mistakes is a huge thing that I've had to do over the last kind of 9 weeks. And I feel like I'm gaining ground now. I feel like I'm building relationships with those players and they are, starting to trust what we're doing.
Has it helped, do you think, that you are from a different country in terms of you've come straight from a different setup, that is a clean slate with you?
Yeah, I think so. And listen, I stood up in my welcome meeting and I said to them, I'm going to say all these things. And I'm sure coaches over many years have stood up and said the same things. It's important that I show them, every single day in the way I coach, the way I lead the environment, the staff too. It's so important that we show them every single day that this is different. And I do think it helps having a different accent, coming from a different culture. And the fact that I've come here, hopefully with a good reputation from Manchester United. I had 2 American players that have come back and spoke highly. So I think if you do the right things, it pays forward for you. And it's the same if you don't do the right things, and women's football is a small world. So I want to make sure we continue to do that. And also, like, I hold my hands up. Like, I make mistakes every single day. And I'll say to the players, if I get it wrong, just tell me and I'll fix it and I'll get it right for you. Because ultimately I have a job because of them.
What's the aim this season? What's your goal?
Yeah, I'm quite realistic with our goal. People don't expect anything of expansion teams. They kind of let them, go and play. Now my expectations are different. I want us to be competitive from the off. I think we've got a good squad of players. The difference is we're 9 weeks in and we're learning, and I was really proud of the team when we played Portland. We lost 1-0, but actually I thought we controlled the game for large periods. We just couldn't get a goal. So, some of these teams have been established, irrelevant of the fact they've changed managers. They've been established. They've got connections on the pitch and relationships we're still building. But, I think if we can be competitive and we can get in and around those playoffs by the end of the season, then we would have had a very successful first year.
I love this fresh start for you, for the players, for the league. And it feels like there's a little bit of a momentum shift at the moment in women's football. We've seen your first couple of games sold out at home, which is phenomenal for San Diego Wave and a new team. The Barcelona crowd over the last couple of weeks, Manchester United back at Old Trafford. Do you feel like there's a shift at the moment?
Yeah, listen, it's not just about empowerment. People are going to the games because they want to see the games. And I looked at that Barcelona crowd and it was good for my soul. I've been in the game for so many years and been told so many times that people are not interested in women's football. That's all I get. And the minute you raise your head on social media, you get the same thing. And I'm like, well, 91,000 people disagree with you, and you look at the PSG crowd too, and you're looking at these huge crowds and people generally have an interest. And what an incredible opportunity England has in the Euros this year now with that momentum. You know, if they can go and be successful, it could be a really big turning point for the women's game in England.
Does that weigh on the players as much? Do they know that it's as much as about that doing well because of what it could mean for the domestic game?
I think it weighed on me really heavily when I was England captain, and not in a performance way, just I knew that we had a responsibility. I knew that if we could win, that we could change the game for the future generations. And listen, I've got 2 little girls, so that's, you know, and I've got a little boy too, and I want them to grow up with the same opportunities. So for me, like, I always carried that with me. So whenever we got knocked out, I was devastated every time, because I knew it was we'd lost an opportunity to change the game. We have a huge opportunity this year in England to change the game and keep that momentum going. The fact that it's already sold out is incredible. I hope the players go out there with freedom and expression, and they take this opportunity, see it as an opportunity, not a threat, you know. And every time I see a huge crowd or something like that, I just feel so proud that I was maybe a tiny part. I put my footprint somewhere on the map on the way to achieving that. And to be part of women's football now is incredible.
Well, I hope you saw the beauty that comes with social media too, because when Manchester United played at Old Trafford in front of that huge crowd, there were loads of messages saying that they hoped you were taking some credit from it, that you were taking some knowledge that you played a major part in that, in getting them there and getting that crowd in.
Yeah, it was bittersweet for me. Every time I see those players perform well, and I saw them walking out the tunnel at Old Trafford, like it you know, kind of melts my heart in a little way, because I don't just leave a club and forget the players. You know, I'm still in touch with them. I still care very much about them, and I want them to be successful. So for them to walk out at Old Trafford in front of a crowd like they deserve, and win and score goals and enjoy themselves, I'm extremely proud of that group, you know, and what they continue to achieve.
Well, and as those saying, you should take credit for Old Trafford. You should take credit if they finish third and get to the Champions League. Do you think that will happen?
I think they've got every chance. Will I take any credit? No. Like, I think all of the credit will go to the players, and should go to the players, because they're an incredible group of women who've, you know, if you look at how far they've come in such a short space of time, and I said it then and I'll say it now, it's their appetite to learn and their desire to keep improving and getting better. They have every chance. It's in their hands. But, you know, Man City are not going to make it easy for them. And I know it possibly could come down to that last game against Chelsea, which is not an easy game, but they've got every chance to do it.
Liverpool back in the WSL. How important, one of your old clubs, to be back up there at the top?
Yeah, so listen, it's massive. Such a big name within the history of the game, but also in women's football, they've been past winners, and also it brings back that derby between Manchester United and Liverpool too. So it just adds another big caliber name to the league, which will just continue for the league to grow.